As clients become digital natives, they will increasingly demand a seamless service that includes responsiveness and transparency. This panel will explore the need to update the way lawyers and financial advisors do business, know how to anticipate client needs and the next steps, also to meet where they're at through our upcoming discussion on what do clients want, understanding and managing 21st century clients. Let's welcome this next session's panelists, Judith Lawrence, founder and owner at Lawrence Institute for Notaries, Joshua Finkel, Director of Actor and Acting Coach at Creative Combustion Acting Studio, Meghna Kumar, Associate Attorney, Mary Jones, CEO and Housing Financial Literacy Senior Advisor at AGORA Community Services Corporation, NFP, Oscar Olyd, I believe, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, COO and co-founder of Faktorama, Inc., Leon Burks, co-founder of LP Venture Group, and Ying, co-founder and partner at Zenmo Law, The Future of Law. Over to you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm so glad to be with this panel.
Speak into the mic, sir.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Is this better?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm Leon Burks. I'll be moderating this session regarding what do our clients want and understanding and manage our 21st century clients. So we have a large panel here today, and so we can start from, I said, my right and going to the left, and everyone introduce yourselves a little bit, and so we can learn more about you.
Sure. Thank you, Leon. My name is Ying. I am the founder and managing partner of Zenmo Law, The Future of Law, and we are a one-stop legal solutions provider that connect clients and attorneys. And to achieve that, we have three important pillars. The first one is our 24/7 consultation team, and the second one is our in-house lawyers, and we're specialized in immigration and corporate law. And we also have our exclusive lawyers network that covers 50 states and 140 practice areas. It's invitation only, and our attorneys are highly specialized with a 25 years of average experience and an average rating of 9.7 out of 10. And I look forward to share a lot about customer services and clients' needs with all of you.
Hello, my name is Oscar Olyd. I'm the COO and co-founder of Faktorama Incorporated. What we do is supply chain financing. So we specialize in working with SMEs to ensure that they have the proper financing through invoices, inventory, and purchase orders. Right now, what we see is when we work with clients, we hear the stories of where their main financial pain points are. Where are they struggling? And it's usually because the big fish, the big dogs of the industry, make it so much harder for the smaller guys. So what we're there to do is to step in and make their lives a little bit easier, improve their overall cash flow, and make sure that they're secure for their future and the upcoming days. So I work very closely with my clients, and more than happy to talk about more about that in the panel.
And good day. Thinking of the other people, the smaller people, the ones that don't have $10 million, we support those that want a path there. So there's the college students coming out of college. They need a path. We need them on the right path so that they will be able to take advantage of all of the securities, all of the options, all of the opportunities in the financial world, as well as the real estate. So no one should have an absence of financial education and real estate education in their portfolio. So I'm here to really talk about that and make sure everyone has a path to where they want to be.
Hi, my name is Judy Lawrence. I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I am the owner of Apostille VIP. We do international documentation all across the United States, and as a matter of fact, in every country in the world. We are now offering a subscription membership so that we can help people more to get these documents done correctly and timely and in a professional manner. I also teach people. I have a training course online and live, and I teach people how to be apostille agents. And I have in Philadelphia a walk-in notary business. It's like the old-fashioned walk-in notary business where people come every day to get things notarized and apostilled. And my perspective of customer service today is going to be from that perspective.
Still not.
Hi, my name is Meghna Kumar. I am an attorney. I practice in real estate. I currently am employed by a firm who has a main office in Manhattan and a satellite office in Hicksville. So we practice residential real estate, commercial real estate, and kind of everything that comes with the real estate market, whether it is your mortgage, whether it's your title work, whether it's, trying to avoid payment of capital gains tax. We cover all of that for you. So I'm looking forward to kind of gaining some more knowledge and imparting some of my own.
I'm all hooked up. Hi, everybody. I'm Joshua Finkel, and I'm an award-winning actor, director, and acting coach, as well as a professor, and I coach public speaking as well to professionals like lawyers and finance people who are looking to do everything from be more effective online using the Zoom technology, since so much of our technology right now is that, how to be the most effective on Zoom, and in addition, for public speaking in person. And a lot of tricks of the trade, not only to relax yourselves, but certainly I've had many lawyer clients who say that their voice wears over time from speaking at length to different in front of juries or being online all day with depositions, and so a lot of that is vocal expression, captivating a room, learning how to really connect with people as you talk, and that's the whole thing about the outreach of the 21st century, how to reach your clients. So especially in this oftentimes online atmosphere, how do you keep people engaged in the room and keep them on your channel and keep them engaged? So that's really what I'm here to talk about, some of that technology. Unfortunately, I'm going to give you a little disclaimer. I was also going to boot up my laptop and go into my Zoom room and give you the do's and don'ts of Zoom and show you some of the goes and the yeses and nos, but hopefully that will happen tomorrow morning at a 10:20 panel once we get those logistics going, but I'll do my best.
Thank you all so much. And a little bit about myself. I'm Leon Burks. I'm the CEO and co-founder of LP Venture Group. And what we do is that we are specialists in roll-up acquisitions. We find similar companies that have complementary services or customer bases, and we see what we can do to consolidate them and present them to a group of private investors or private equity firms for acquisition. And so I know in my business, we have a lot of nuance and very directed and very, what's the word I'm looking for? Special clients that we work with.
Specialty.
Yes, exactly. So if the panel could talk about their typical client and what their clients are expecting now, especially after post-pandemic, what do we have to look forward to in servicing our greater communities? Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna start first. So we are a legal platform and a law firm. So our clients are mainly international entities and international individuals. Most of them, they have a need of immigration and getting to set up in the United States. We're here to assist them with any kind of legal demands they might have in their new homes. And our clients in the 21st century, in this fast-paced developing era, they are looking for accurate and immediate response, and especially in regards of the immigration problems, that's their identity and their status problem. They're looking for a more immediate and more accurate response when they have an inquiry. So their demands has come to our first priority. This is why we are developing and deploying our 24/7 consultation team, because for clients, they have a lot of questions regarding what's the next step and what do they need to do and what their spouses and their children are going to do during the application phases. And sometimes they might be very harsh and they might be a little, hurried to know the answers. So we are developing this sort of 24/7 consultant and AI integrated response application to deal with their demands. I guess, immediate response and accuracy is what they are looking for in our services.
Awesome. And Judy, you have a very on-demand business. So how do you respond to your clients?
Yes, I have a very on-demand business, and I have found that since the pandemic, our clients want immediate gratification. And when I say immediate gratification, in many instances, they want things 5 or 10 minutes before they asked you to do them. So it is difficult. It means being right on top of texting and emailing. And I don't know, I kind of approach everything with a sense of humor. But I was telling Mary, they text you, and if you don't respond to their text in a minute or two, then they email you. And then if you don't get back to them, because perhaps you're with another client, then they call. And so at the end of the day, you have all these text messages and all these emails and all these phone calls, and you have to figure out who you really talk to. That said, they're spending their money. So the other side of the coin is, the way I look at it is, they're spending their money and they're entitled to the best service that we can give them. And we, in my companies, we treat everyone like people. There's no room for disrespect. There's no room for anything like that, whether a person comes in, in real dressed up or in overalls. We treat them all the same, and we try to give them the best service we can possibly give them. My return business is at 92%, and so I think that's pretty good. But I just want to say one more thing, and then I'll pass the mic. Remember that during the pandemic, everyone got everything they wanted the minute they got it. Amazon was just your fingertip. And I don't know, but in Philadelphia, Instacart brought you your groceries, and someone else could bring you something else. And all of this became easy. I mean, it just became simple. You need something, there's a place to get it, and you can get it quick. And as long as you have a credit card, you're okay. I think that has carried through now to, I want what I want when I want it. And I don't know if all your businesses are like that, but that's the perspective from my business.
An important thing that I mentioned, especially during COVID, is most businesses did suffer. And especially the ones that were there for a long time experienced a lot of new changes, and not everyone did very well or tried to stabilize themselves, at least during the pandemic. So for us, one of the most important things is actually understanding the story of your client. What did the business look like prior to COVID? What did it look like during COVID? What are they going through right now post-COVID? And trying to adapt to the client as they're going through this journey is the most important. Because I've often heard it's just like, well, I used to be like this is what we were able to do, and suddenly we were cut in half during COVID, or a third, or whatever it was. And right now we're seeing that most businesses are coming back, trying to be what happened in 2019, where they were at that peak of that business. So for us, alongside that instant gratification, is really understanding where their story is. Where were they? What were they able to do? And where do they need help to get back there? So understanding that story, having that little bit personal touch, and hearing just a little bit of the history of a company allows you to be more personal with the business and be better to tailor what you have as a service to them to actually achieve where they once were and to hopefully get beyond that. So really understanding that client pre, during, and post-COVID is incredibly important to make sure that the business that you're running and the service or products that you have are really effective. Because if you don't tailor it, it tends to either miss or doesn't really give the clients what they want, and that instant gratification suddenly dips there. So knowing the background, knowing the history and where they are now really makes a difference.
And one thing I would just say, because of the, within let's say the show business culture, things are literally around the clock. It's 3 a.m. I can't believe you didn't respond to my text. Like, well, I was asleep. Or I'm in the shower for 5 minutes. So I think that if you set boundaries, that if you set, like, even in an auto response or even in your outgoing message, and you have like, I will get back to you within the next 3 hours, so that you don't get this barrage. There's an expectation. I'm not saying that But I'm saying, so you don't go crazy, and the client has a clear boundary and sort of an expectation of saying, okay, it's still the same business day, it'll all be okay, but it's not like, where are you? Why isn't Amazon coming? Where's Instacart? You know, it's crazy. So I think, you know, we're all only human, and we're all trying to have all of our tentacles on every possible button, but it's, you know, you do your best. And I think setting those boundaries really creates a professional but inviting and very cordial environment where you don't get overworked, and then they also feel respected.
Yeah, so I find that very interesting as we try to be more customer-centric as the day goes on, because we have a lot more, the education of our clients and customers has skyrocketed through the information age as well. So knowing that your clients think they know what they don't know, Mary, how do you get them from point A to point B?
Great question. Well, I have a mic on, I'll use it. Thank you. There is one aspect that I believe is lost throughout the years, and that would be our young adults and, of course, the businesses that have struggled through COVID. And it's not even just COVID, it's the prior housing and economic crisis. What happened is that a lot of people simply were lost in the whole, they were just forgotten. And the main group is our young adults that are coming out of college. They should be on a path to be able to rent within their means. They're those that are coming out of COVID and trying to restructure their lives. They should be able to be on a path to make those financial decisions that's going to get them there. But what has not been available, but of course, there is an organization called HUD, and we're a nonprofit HUD Housing Advising Agency. We changed our names from counseling to housing advisors because if you don't have a home, if you don't have a house, if you don't have a roof to be, it's going to be very hard for you to take care of the things that you need to take care of, like your children, your husband, work, things that, you deal with every day. How are you going to do that if you don't have a roof? How are you going to do that if you don't know whether you're going to have it from day to day? Think about a child going to college, young adult going to college, or even an 8th grader not knowing if they're going to be able to even have a home when they get home. So that is an area that we're focusing on in Chicago. It is AGORA. We're a nonprofit. We're here because we really want to connect the legal aspect to finance and real estate together with what we're doing, because that's exactly what they need. Because we want them to know it's just not a decision that you make. It's a decision that you research and you line up with. You can't do anything and succeed if you're not lining up with the legal aspects of what you're trying to do, and then the financial aspects that allows you to stay within your financial capacity, and therefore knowing I'm here, now I know how much I need to get there. And that's just something we kind of base all of our housing advising on.
So with Meghna, with your clients, how do you get them there as well? I know real estate is like the foundation of a lot of individuals' start to financial independence and also growing their wealth. Like, how do you ensure that you meet their intent while also respecting your boundaries?
I'll just get this.
I'm going to piggyback actually off of what Joshua said before. Okay. So I actually have clear boundaries already. When I started practicing law, I had a separate work number. I went in with that relationship that, you can reach me from 9 to say 5:30, 8:30 to say 5:30 at this number. After that point, drop me an email. If it's urgent, give me a call. Otherwise, I'll address it in the morning. Because at that point, your client realizes that you're also a person. Yes. You're not only there to help them, and while they do need help, they need a point to kind of relax themselves instead of engrossing themselves in one issue. So that's something that, I learned from other attorneys at my firm who failed to establish that boundary and are constantly working around the clock. I still get those texts, those 3 o'clock texts.
With the expectation.
Oh, definitely.
It's
and then
bad.
They ask you the next day at like 9:05, did you see my text? I did. But, we have outside lives to manage as well. So that's something that I did want to touch upon. It's great to try and establish it, but no matter what you do, you're going to get the people who don't realize it.
And sometimes that 3 o'clock in the morning call is, I just want to make sure your office is going to open at 9.
I might oversleep now because it's 3 in the morning and you woke me up. It may not be open at 9.
But going back to your question, in terms of managing what my clients want, it's definitely difficult. A lot of clients that I interact with on a day-to-day basis, English is their second language, so you have the language barrier as well. But at the same time, this goes with any field, clients sometimes think that the information that they're telling you is all of the story. But at the end of the day, when you're more than halfway through a file and you're like 3 days from closing, then they tell you, oh, my financial situation has changed. I love it. And then they can no longer afford their home. And I'm like, this is a significant problem because your down payment of, say, 60 grand, 80 grand is now at risk. So it's definitely something that the first few times that it happened, I've sat down with my clients, say once or twice a week, and asked them point blank, so how's everything going? Has anything changed since the first time we spoke? And you try and get all of that information out from them from the outset so you can tackle the problem head on.
Awesome.
And may I add one thing to what you were just talking about, because it's so important. They do need boundaries, but also they need to be guided to understand what that boundary actually means. And then with our firm, it's more so, what are you trying to accomplish? And we must work together to understand what that first step is. And then with that first step, they're going to automatically be within our boundaries because we're going to fashion it. We fashion it so that whatever your first boundary is, whatever your goal is, that boundary is set because we've identified the first step that must be taken. And guess what that is? It's something they have to do. They're not calling me. They are working on that first step. So we make sure when we first meet a client, we give them an opportunity to identify what it is they're trying to achieve. And the first thing we want them to know is, what's the first step? Now, we're going to give you something to work on that first step with. And that gives us time to get the new clients in. It gives us time to set up their file folders. It gives us time. And we need time because we're not just intaking people. We're supposed to be helping them get where they want to get.
Yes, awesome. And also on a little selfish note, most of my peer group, we are global citizens. We travel a lot. We have a motto that says we go where we're treated best, and we look at that at everything we do. And so, Ying, with your client base who happens to be global citizens or have multiple residencies and things like that, how do you make sure you meet them where they are?
That's a very good question. And I have to say that, guys, I echo a lot with you, especially taking a call at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because my clients, they're in Dubai, they're in Asia, Thailand, Singapore, China, India. All of them, they are 12 hours away from us. And all those global citizens, they don't care. They won't do the math. They don't do the calculation where you are and what time zone we were in.
Pick up my call. It's noon where I am.
Pick up my call.
Right.
You got to answer my question.
Right.
I am so in a hurry. And a lot of times I'm working around the clock and my work hours is totally changed because where my clients are located. And I totally agree, Mary, we have to set the rules. We need to guide them of being mutually respected to each other. I respect your inquiry, you gotta respect my time and my expertise, my knowledge. Set the rules, guide them of where they need to be from step to step. On the other hand, tell them, if you want to talk with me, you want to make a call, mark my calendar, please. You don't talk to me directly. I have my paralegals, I have my team, I have my assistants. They can assist you with collecting the materials, with all the first steps you need to accomplish first before I can talk to you. Because I don't have any of your material, I don't know what your situation is. So, and getting back to your question, how am I gonna meet all these global citizens from their time zones? It's usually remote, and since the pandemic, it's widely accepted that we can just meet each other online on Zoom. But some of them, if they need to be in the States to take a discovery on the projects they're going to invest in, or just to see our law firm and meet the lawyers if they are traveling, then we would be happy to schedule a face-to-face in-person meetings and calendar. Yeah, time is the key. Everyone here, we are professional because our time is valuable, and we are selling time in exchange of their tasks need to be accomplished. So I think that's the key. And one of our investors talked to me. They said you don't have to answer everything the clients is asking you to, because that would make you cheap. But lawyers, attorneys, professionals, we're not cheap. We gotta educate them.
I just want to piggyback on something. We're talking about the sort of the economy of time. I think one way you can really reach out to your clients and be very effective with them is, first of all, is talk louder. Okay. First of all, is being respectful of their time and vice versa. And one of the ways to do that is, number one, reflect. I have a big voice, I can just yell. One is, number one, reflect back to them their problem or their issue. It's like, so I see that you want to actually solidify and, solidify your net worth and actually invest in something that's going to be more long-term, or you're looking for something more aggressive, or whatever they're looking for. Start by reflecting back their need, because there's no attention span anymore. If you think about it, I'm going to say, starting with MTV, where we started to watch these like quick cuts of these fast videos of like 5 seconds here, 10 seconds here. We're not watching even like 30 seconds of a shot. Everything is short-term and quick cuts. And we've started to sort of sail into that consciousness. And if you think about now, if you're scrolling on your phone on TikTok, like 5 seconds, great, 5 seconds, no. Like we don't even, like I'm giving you one line, nope, got it, nope. Okay, so that's how we're wired now, and you have to be responsible for that. So long, storytelling, it doesn't work. Basically, reflect back their problem and headline what you want. It's the opposite of telling jokes. You're gonna start with the punchline. You're not gonna do the long lead up to the punchline. You're gonna say, to get to the other side, you're just gonna tell the chicken joke and just start with there. You want this, great. The three things I would say that can help you are X, Y, and Z. So lay the stuff out, like give them the results so they stay on your channel. I'm getting the information. And then you can start to expand, as opposed to winding up to a big result to get to X. Start with X. And then you can expand. Do you understand why I'm starting with X? And then you can have an engagement with them, and you can then expand. But that's a much better strategy, because everyone's multitasking, everyone's scrolling, everyone has 5 seconds, no one can concentrate anymore. Plus, the more that you can make things visual rather than full of words. People don't read. People like, I'd rather watch like the demo video on how to do this on YouTube, on how to set up my thing, than like read the instruction manual. There must be something on YouTube that I can just watch a dude do it. There it is, great. I don't want to read this, right? So that's like, know that and respond to it accordingly in your business model.
One more thing to piggyback off that. The clarity of your message to your customers is more important than ever. So what I mean by that is all of us are professionals here. We have a very high vernacular that we speak with one another using technical terms and jargon that makes sense to us. So we speak with each other, it makes things quicker and more efficient. We know exactly what we're saying. But to a new customer, especially if they don't work on the finance side. So for instance, I have a CEO that I'm meeting with, and I'm going through all these financial terms. He's looking at me like a deer in headlights, like I am right now with this light. Absolutely stunned. He has no idea what I'm saying. Not a clue. But I bring in the CFO, it's a totally different story. So when I speak to a CEO, I need to make sure I say the words that make sense to him and the more bigger, broader picture of what I can do for his business. But when I talk with the CFO, very different story. We're going through his ARs, all these different points. What's the cash flow? Where's the hit? What's the cyclical pattern? All these things. So when you're looking and talking to, make sure you're speaking to the right person with the right verbiage. Because if you don't, you're going to lose that customer. And more than ever, if you see the blank nod of doom, I promise you've lost that individual. And it's usually because not that it's too complicated, rather you're saying things that don't resonate with their language. So more than ever, not only reflecting everything that Joshua just said, but making sure that you're using the right words. The right words will make or break any deal that you're dealing with in business. So be conscious of that, because it really does make a difference in the long term.
And it's really putting your attention on the other person, as opposed to press play, here's my spiel about whatever, I'm going to do my act about, this financial plan that I have. If while you're doing your financial spiel, you see that blank stare, change gears, notice it, and then say, is this making sense to you? And look at it more this way, and you can go into an analogy and then be more physical. The more physical you are, in addition to your verbiage, so it becomes less cerebral and more experiential, that will resonate as well, too. Like we were talking about, a guy goes to a store and he wants 5 cents of the, you put it into like, oh, I understand that. Now, that's what I mean by this particular point, and that's what we're trying to do with your money.
Yeah,
Put into a context.
Can I piggyback on this?
We have a lot of I've got strong shoulders here.
Okay. I think this is working.
Yes.
When you're writing these days, write with bullet points.
That's right.
Do not write with text. Do not write a whole long thing.
Nope.
Paragraphs.
And you know how we people who write, we struggle with our words. We want them to be just right. You don't need it. Bullet points. This is this, this is this, this is this, this is this. This will get you to where you want to be. And I say this because of what Joshua said, no attention span out there at all. I teach notaries and I teach apostilles. And I will mention there's a website for Joshua Finkel, who was an actor, and the next day I get 5 phone calls. Can you send me that website? Because it's just not, people are just not wanting to work real hard. If I can send it to them, why would they have to look for it?
Right.
But as to writing, who said something about clarification? Oscar, you did. Keep it simple. You will only have their attention for perhaps a minute or 2. Another thing is, and it's hard sometimes, but try to capsize your message in your ray. Because they don't go sometimes past your ray. I think it's different in a
Past your what?
Your ray, your subject line.
Oh, subject line.
Yeah,
Got it.
try to capture your message, like, I want to meet you on Tuesday.
Right.
And then you can have 3 or 4 bullet points as to why, but try to do that because, and I'm going to take the other side of the coin for a minute. Hundreds of emails a day from prospective people who want to look at my website and prospective people who tell me that they could do better for my SEO and prospective people. There's so many of them.
Oh.
And it's really a chore sometimes to keep up with it and get rid of the ones you don't want. Sometimes I'm really bad and I have like thousands of them. And it is, make it as easy for them. If you're going to do a video about your company, no more than 2 minutes. They won't look at it. If you say, me, I can talk forever. So do like a 10-minute video, not going to happen. 2 minutes, real quick, real easy, and get your message out in the beginning.
And graphics.
And graphics.
And to go totally on the other side, everyone has things that they want to accomplish that they need your help or assistance with. Well, we can't forget that sometimes there's some needs they need. They're not going to come saying what they need. They're going to come saying what they want. But we have to really read and ask questions and dig and pull to determine what is it that they need, because that one thing can actually be in a position to hinder them from getting what they want or getting on a path to what they want. So we want to make sure that we're listening and asking the questions that not only deal with what they're saying they're coming to you, that they want you to fix, but what is it that they need? Sometimes it's just needing someone to just listen to my problem so that I can get it out. Get it on the table so that I'm able to then go to that next step so that I can buy that home or I can get those stock options or whatever it is I'm trying to do. But we must know what the need is. Sometimes it's just, do you really understand what I'm talking about? They just want to know that.
And I think to jump in here, when we say to simplify things, it's not just simplify it and go through the motions, because I've seen attorneys do this all the time. Licensed professionals, you've been in the field for such a long time that you have a habit when it comes to, for example, doing a real estate closing or meeting with an initial client. you don't even explain the basics to them. And then when you get to the point where you're closing on a deal, the client is completely unaware of a significant point that could, make or break them. Say someone is renting, they're on a month-to-month rent, they've closed on a property with the expectation that, yeah, I can move in right after I close. Like, that's all great. Perfect. And then you find out at the closing table, wait, they can actually stay there for an extra week, and they didn't even have to tell me until now. Yeah, it's a possibility. So I think being in this field, there aren't motions that you go through, and there can't be motions in any field. You have to, yes, we are trying to simplify things, but we also are simplifying them to the specific client. And I think that's something that, clients, when you're sitting at the table, they just think, XYZ, I'm done. I've had attorneys who just, at closing, have their clients sign all of their mortgage documents. Can you imagine signing a $700,000 mortgage and not even knowing what you signed? It is unbelievable. It is mind-boggling. And I've sat there for 3 hours explaining every document. So it's situation dependent. You'll have clients who want to know everything, and it's great to have them. And you'll have some clients who say, no, I don't want to know, but you know what's important. So whether or not they want it, they need to know it. So I think that's the difference as professionals, that we recognize that they might not know.
Yeah, do you flag that, like with a flag posted? Like, let's look at that paragraph here with that flag.
Definitely not. So I've been doing this, since I was licensed. I've been in real estate. So I know the motions in every single document that I go through with a client. Your mortgage is, say, 36 months. Your interest rate is locked for X amount of time, because people do variable rates, especially now. Rates are so high, so they don't know when it's going to change. They don't know what their options are. So things like that, I know where to look for them, but for someone who's new or going into any practice, it's definitely important to flag the important points, because once you're sitting there, your client might look like they're in a rush. You might think you can just brush past it, but it's going to end up causing significant consequences for you as a professional that you won't realize till much, much later.
Yeah.
And I must say, too, though, onto your point, is that that's what connects the financial with the attorneys, because we believe that if you are going to close on a home and you have this massive document, well, you got 2 stacks, right? What we do is we make sure that they understand those documents. So we ask them to actually get a copy of your mortgage before you close. Why not? It's your mortgage. Ask, and you can actually get it. Then after they close, we ask them to just every day read a page, read 2 pages, highlight the things that you may have a concern with or a question on. And then they can come back to us, so they're prepared when they come to you. They're prepared when you go to the closing, because when you go to the closing, they're not asking you these 1,000 questions during the closing, or you don't feel like they're not understanding a word you're saying. They will, because our job is to prepare them, not to just purchase, but to also understand that you're making a commitment to pay somebody for the next 30 years. So you have to understand the importance of knowing what you're signing. You just can't sit there and just sign. And that's what's been happening for so many years. We have had clients that have come in and they sent a check, $750 to their lender, and they sent it back to him. Why? It was a balloon mortgage. Was he ready for $17,000 refinance? He's 79 years old. He was not going to go out and get refinanced for nothing. And he did lose his home, because he wasn't prepared. So even after they get the home, go to the attorney, get the home, there's still things they need to be reminded of. Why? They're not going to remember.
Yeah, this is a great conversation about being able to be very customer-centric, but also personable, and leading them through their own challenges that they may or may not have. I know we're getting closer to time. If anyone has a question, you can start walking up to the mic, and we'll ping you. Until then, we'll just have a nice conversation. But I noticed that a lot of us are in more high-powered positions or titles in our organizations. And how do you maintain that executive presence while staying personable and being able to convey and speak in a language that your clients understand? How do you do that? Yes, how do you maintain your executive presence?
But stay personable.
And staying personable.
I think the answer to that is not an executive presence. If you don't mind my saying this, you have to let a client know that you're the expert and that you're there to help them in any way you possibly can. But that you're the expert, and that, whether you went to school and became a lawyer or however you became the expert, you are the expert, and that's why they came to you. If they broke their arm, they would go to the doctor who could fix an arm. If they need an apostille, then they come to me. Then they have to give me a little bit of respect to say, okay, this is how we're going to do it. I think that that's important, that we always maintain our ability, without being snobbish about it or anything like that, but that, we're glad you're here, and now let me tell you the way I think we could proceed to get you the result you want.
So teamwork. So teamwork.
Well, I believe too, just something very simple. A quick smile and direct them to who's going to take them to the next step. Yeah, quick.
Go ahead.
For me, it's your attire to your customers. So when I'm working with my internal teams or I'm working with the CEO, I dress like I'm talking to my CEO or I'm talking with my executives. My people that I work with, or my clients, they are either building homes, they're outdoors people, they're creating products for the every human being. If I was in a full suit and a tie, slick back hair, cologne, they're gonna be like, I think I'm talking to the wrong person. I do mugs. I don't know what you're doing in a full suit. It makes a very big difference. But I don't just put on a t-shirt from Walmart and a pair of jeans. I at least dress in a short, nice collared shirt, 3-button down, still holding a professional attire, but it's still something that they feel comfortable with. I certainly wouldn't talk to someone in the construction industry like this, because if they took me out, I think I'd probably destroy my suit accidentally if a nail gun went by. So, being conscious of that, and it's that tailoring, that you still feel comfortable with yourself, that you still feel that you are dressed appropriately, but also taking them into consideration, their industry. It does make a big difference, because they do realize that. When the construction worker sees you in a full suit versus in jeans, they also realize, you know what I do, you know what I work in, but you're still dressed appropriately. And I think that helps lower the boundary between you and a customer and makes it a lot more personal, and they trust you. And with that, when you speak of that expertise, that you know what you're doing, it really kind of locks everything in. You know my industry, you dressed appropriately to what I do, and on top of that, you know what you're doing, and that you don't give them any doubts. And it's just pure confidence that they walk out, and when you tell them right away, after this, we're doing 1, 2, 3. We've got to do an MNDA, we've got to do this and that, and then someone else is going to help you from here. Makes a really big difference. So the follow-ups after, and that clarity. So
I would say also this is really important. Think of it for yourself. If you are doing a project or you're going to put something together and you're going to put a team together, like I need a financial advisor, I need a real estate broker, I need whatever, I'm doing this project. What do? You ask your friends. You get referrals from friends. Who do you like? Who worked well for you? This person was great. And then you kind of check it out. And you think about, who are my friends? Who do I want to work with? Who do I want to see at 10 a.m. on Monday morning, right? So I would say the first thing, thank you, Google. Take a second if you have coming in and go who is this person? Get a little info on them. So part of in the back of your mind, you can go, I know that they came from this town, and then how can you relate to them? What do you have in common with them? It's oh, are you from Allentown, Pennsylvania? So was my mom. Where'd you go to high school? Whatever that is, immediately you're creating a bond. You're creating, oh my God, you get me, you understand me, you're my friend. And that makes a huge leap and gives you a huge advantage. And it takes 5 seconds on Google and having that in your back pocket, and then be the friend at the outbreak. Do an icebreaker so it's not this kind of cold, thanks for coming in, let's talk about so-and-so. You want to have that friendship and being on their friendship team.
So it appears we have a question. Go ahead.
Question. It's more of a comment, and also for my amazing partner. I think the word you guys are looking for is the word trust. It's just building that authority and building that trust that you're creating with your clients. Mm-hmm. So whether it's through video or communication some way, it's building that authority that every one of you guys up there have to give to your clients. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And along that vein, with the know, like, and trust, and outside of everything else that we've talked about so far today, I would like to ask each panelist, what is your superpower to get your client over the hump when it comes to the trust department?
I just wanted to quickly add on one point,
Okay.
besides everything we've talked about, because this panel is not only about a discussion about how we understand and manage our clients, but also we consolidated to the communication skills between people, how we connect with people, how we build relationship with people, and trust and physical appearance, being professional, your expertise, simple clarity. These are all very important. But I just want to ignite on one other stuff. Use the technology and the customer relationship management software application out there to assist the whole procedure is also one crucial part of client management. We have to respect the customer cycle and how the clients are getting into the purchase cycle of how they make the purchase decision. Beforehand, we need to know where they are, understand your clients. Their gender, their age matters, and their geography, their behavior, their psychology, what they're thinking. It's very important regarding how we identify them and give the support and give what they really want. And then going through the whole procedure, know their needs, know their inquiries, and put into the right personnel that can give the best services that they want. And last but not least, customer service. After all these services, you need to follow up. You need to know what can be done better, and so that they can refer more clients to you. This is a whole cycle where everything needs to be put step by step, and nothing can be missed in here. This is the whole customer relationship management. And there are a lot of good applications and software out there. Salesforce, they provide the best software management system for our clients and building the relationship. And sometimes it's holiday season, right? We have to give those wishes out. We have to remind them of we are being supportive and we are around you. We are aware of you, right? And this is very important. The key to the relationship and the trust.
And your superpower?
And my superpower, I guess, is key opinion leaders and socialing, networking, because all these people, they are familiar with the clients they are referring to you. And then you can get the most out of it from the intermediary that is introducing you to the client. And all those cases that got referred has the best success rate, especially in those cases, I know, real estate, finance, immigration, law, everything. These are based on human services. It's not product. It's not like, hey, I need to buy this insurance. I have this demand. I have to get it tomorrow. No. It's relationship building. I need to know your firm. I need to know your service. Can you provide the best you can? Can you satisfy my demands? So I guess my superpower is to know them from our referral to make the best of the successful rate.
Awesome, thank you.
My superpower is to be relatable. I'm a person that tries to do everything at least once, even if I hate it. And there's this beautiful thing, I don't know if you ever heard of it, it's called social media. And most people like to post things about themselves on social media. And that means where they travel, what they've done, if that's on Facebook, LinkedIn. And so you recently saw that your client went to Honduras. And I'll be like, you know what? I was just in Roatan to do scuba diving. What did you think? Or, you know what? I realized that your last name is Polish. I'm also Polish. Do you speak Polish? Whatever it is, finding that one thing, as Joshua was saying, that, you know what? I've also done this. Do you like doing this too? And she's like, you know what? I haven't done it a lot, but I'll tell you the couple times that I've done it, I love it. I don't believe that there's not at least one thing you can connect with your customer. I don't believe in this world nowadays that you're so alienated from another human being, you have nothing in common. But if you're truly stuck, crack a joke, even if it's a terrible one. Because at least they'll see you are trying to have a sense of humor. And a sense of humor will go further on creating a relationship with someone, and at least they'll be like, "Oh, it's that guy that does terrible dad jokes, but at least he tried."
Right.
Even if it's that relationship, they know that you're going to come with a more nonchalant personality. You're a lot easier to talk to, and you're not this stuck-up finance guy that lives in the back corner and just crunches numbers. Because if that's what the client thinks of you the next time, it's not going to go smoothly.
Okay.
At least be the bad dad joke guy. At least. So finding that relatableness is the key. At least that's my superpower.
Okay,
Let's start
yeah.
with the punchline, because it's headline.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to go a little rapid fire.
Well,
We're
my
getting close.
superpower is to totally convince each and every one of my clients that I listen to them. They are totally convinced by the time they leave. And that makes them comfortable, and that allows them to understand that they know that when they do talk, I will be listening. And then we'll be able to reach a resolution for their issues or concerns. And everybody wants that.
My superpower, I think, is as a boss or as a person with a client, I never want to ask anyone to do what I wouldn't do. So the people that work for me, if they have to stay really late, they're happy to do it because they say, like, you're staying too, right? And like, I'm buying the pizza, and we're gonna get this job out, and we're gonna make like a whole lot of money, and we gotta get this thing done by tonight. I never ask anyone to do something that I wouldn't do. And I think the other part of what makes me successful is I have a very strong work ethic. And I don't promise somebody something unless I know I can deliver.
Yes.
And I think that is so critical. Here,
Awesome.
Sure. I would say my superpower, piggyback off of what you said, is, mirroring the theme, is definitely respecting my client to a degree that they're coming to you because they don't know something. It doesn't mean that you need to put them down. It means that you need to give them the knowledge that they need to look forward to in the future. So when they come to me, I lay out a clear path. Your contract is here. We'll go back and forth. We'll negotiate. Then we'll do X, Y, Z. From there, we'll get to your closing table eventually, but don't think it's going to happen in a month or 2 months. It'll take some time. And having that clear picture from the start definitely helps them calm down a little bit.
I think my superpower is, well, in my business, it goes from anything from someone coming to me for sort of a long term and gradually growing and wanting to master a skill or mastering something, or coming to me and saying, I have this thing, I need to be on Broadway I have to be from a non-singer to a Broadway singer in the next hour that I have with you. It's literally that kind of, those stakes. So I think making it fun, but having sort of a laser keen, mechanical eye, here's what needs to be fixed. And people just get it. And I learned to communicate it in a fun way, but a way that they can access that. And understanding that that's different for everybody. The same X, Y, and Z doesn't work for everybody. So you have to always, put your attention over there and go, how will this person respond? Let's try this, let's try this. There it is.
Awesome.
And I think that flexibility and that sense of fun and personality and personable quality is useful. Oh my God, we're over by
And what's
12
yours?
seconds.
My superpower is that I live by a creed, and I always look at it as a privilege to do what I do for in my chosen profession, and my clients know that, and they really know that I won't break my word, and my integrity is paramount, and so that relationship is awesome. But thank you all for the beautiful panel. If you guys could give us a round of applause for all the nuggets they've dropped on us. And
Thanks for being here.
it's greatly appreciated. So thank you very much. Sorry, went over 45 seconds, but thank you all.